Welcome to the EJG3 show. This is your host, Eddie Gallagher. This episode, we will recap week 3 of the NFL. Let's start off with the Ravens versus Cowboys. Two teams that were desperate of a win. Ravens won 28-25, moving them to 1-2. It was a must win for the Ravens. They ran the ball well. Derrick Henry ran for 151 yards with two touchdowns. Uh, Jackson also accounted for two scores. Um, they just basically blew out the Cowboys. They were leading 28-6 in the fourth quarter. They finished up with 274 yards of rushing. It was just a complete game by them. Defense looked solid. They were getting after Dak Prescott. But the most concerning thing was not the Ravens. It was the Cowboys. The Cowboys gave up, again, 274 yards of rushing. And they have allowed 120 points in the past three home games, including the game that they lost to the Packers in the wild card round. This defense is getting run down. I don't know what's happening. I think I saw some highlights where Mike Parsons was overcompensating. I think not doing his job. I don't know what it is. And you saw teams literally running down the throat. You saw the Saints do it. You saw the Packers do it. You saw the Bills last year do it to them. This is starting to get into a habit. I feel like teams know that the Cowboys are terrible against the run and they're just going to run it down their throats. Obviously, that gives teams an advantage. They're going to run the clock out. Cowboys offense will be on the bench. It's just not looking good for the Cowboys defense. And I don't know what Mike Zimmer's doing. I don't think he has an answer. You know, you have good players on defense. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Micah Parsons. You got Diggs. You have good players. Just they don't know what to do. Is it coaching? Is it the players? I don't know what it is. And look, that game was done in the fourth quarter. Um, Prescott had overall 379 yards with two touchdowns. That was a lot of stat padding in the fourth quarter. You saw, and you see this with Dak Prescott a lot. A lot of stat padding when they're getting blown out. It makes his stats look good. And the reality is, it's Dak Prescott. They gave him big money, millions of dollars, 60 million. I'm very concerned that it's all going to be on CD Lamb, who is clearly by far is the best offensive player on that team. Because your wide receivers, they're not that good. I mean, got Cook, but that's really about it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of surrounding parts. Their running game is non existent. And two games where you kind of got blown up at home. I mean, let's be honest, that game was not close. And I think they got to make adjustments. Now, lucky you're playing the Giants Thursday night, but if you're a Cowboys fan, that is not a good look. And it's funny. They get all the headlines. Jerry waits till the last minute. If they got those done, if they got those deals done, pardon me, they could have had a chance to sign Derrick Henry, and they didn't because they waited till the last minute. You know, Jerry's about headlines. He's getting older. How serious is he in winning a Super Bowl? I don't think he is serious. I think the Cowboys are going to have a long season. They look like they're the third best team in that division, and that won't get them to the playoffs. But right now, in 3 games, they look absolutely awful. You should be concerned if you're a Cowboys fan. Again, and back to the Ravens, the only thing that I'm concerned about is that in the fourth quarter, when you have a big lead, they always find a way to give it up. And they almost did. I mean, Lamar Jackson had to literally get a rushing first down. I think it was like 10 yards. Um, I mean, it was a great run by him. I mean, he really sealed the deal. But that's the one thing that I'm concerned about with the Ravens is, hey, fourth quarter, can they seal the deal against these good teams? Obviously, it was a must win for them, but I'm a little concerned. Fourth quarter, big lead, they just blow it a lot, and they almost did it against the Cowboys. But hey, all you have to do in the NFL is win, baby, and they did. So this was a surprising game. I was totally wrong on this pick. Texans versus Vikings. Um, Sam Darnold matches career high with 4 touchdown passes. Um, the Vikings defense intercepted CJ Stroud twice and sacked him 4 times. And they just routed the Texans 34-7. Flores has that defense running. They look very impressive. They look like the best defense in the NFL right now. Sam Darnold, he looks like he's right now. He looks like the MVP front runner. He's playing at a high level. Uh, it's great that he has Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. Um, and they don't have Jordan Addison yet. So when he comes back, it's going to be a bigger boost. I'm very pleased with the Vikings so far, and they are totally the shock of the league right now. Um, and Kevin O'Connell, he's his play calling has been great. I believe Sam Darnold has no turnovers, which he normally is a turnover machine, but good for him. If he doesn't turn the ball over, he's a talented quarterback. I was wrong on Darnold. When he has protection, when he has good surrounding parts, he's a good quarterback. I can't lie. I mean, when you beat the 49ers and the Texans, that is impressive. And that's why I thought they were the third best team in the NFL. I mean, I believe I put them in my top 10, top 3. Uh, but CJ Stroud, he's a young player still. There's going to be some ups and downs. And look, it's the NFL. Sometimes you have bad games, you know, and you just have to move on. You have a big game against Jacksonville, who we will talk about in a couple minutes. But I think they will be fine, get back on track. You're not going to go undefeated in the NFL. But this was a great, great win for the Vikings. Now, schedule gets tougher. Not that it wasn't tough. You have a big game versus the Packers. Who knows if Jordan Love is playing? But if the Vikings can win that game, to me, they could easily win that division. And they're a talented team. And it makes me really think, can Brian Flores be a top candidate for next year's coaching? Because he's having that Vikings defense playing at a high level. And it's did Tua give him some more motivation? Maybe, but I think there's always motivation in the NFL. But he's doing a great job coaching. Um, and look, like I said, Stroud's a top five quarterback in the NFL. He just had a bad game. He went 20 for 31 with 215 yards. Obviously, it's not a good thing to have your first pass get tipped and get intercepted. So, um, but I still think Texans are going to win that division. I think the Vikings. Is this a fluke? I have no idea. But they are to me a really good team all around, and we knew they had players on offense, but their defense is lights out. I mean, Jonathan Greenard had 3 sacks. Um, so good for the Vikings. I'm very shocked, but hey, I feel like Stroud will get back on track next week. Okay, let's talk about Chiefs versus Falcons. Chiefs are getting lucky, but they're winning, and that's what matters. You had Patrick Mahomes, who threw for 217 yards, um, including throws to Rasheed Rice and Juju Smith-Schuster. Um, you had Harrison Bucker, booted 3 field goals. I feel like, hey, we're still trying to figure things out. It seems like Travis Kelce is a little slower. He's getting up there in age, but I think he's trying to work himself in shape. Um, but if you really look at it, their defense has been playing unbelievable, limiting to Ravens to 20 points, limiting the Bengals to 25 points, limiting the Falcons to 17 points. They're not winning because of Patrick Mahomes. They're winning because of their defense. And that is really, really impressive. Uh, you know, that last play, I don't know, Nick Bowen, um, you know, threw Bijan Robinson uh, on that fourth down play, which I don't know why the Falcons, I think it was about 54 seconds left. Fourth and inches. I get it. Kirk Cousins is coming back from an injury, but you gotta QB sneak that ball. And look, I get it. Hey, you know, Kyle Pitts, there could have been a pass interference, on a previous possession. But look, you had multiple opportunities to win that game. The Chiefs won them because they have good coaching and they have good players. That's the bottom line. Obviously, I think the Falcons. I still think they're gonna win that division. Uh, but obviously that was an emotional game. But I still like the talent around them. Kyle Pitts, Bijan. They are, and Drake London. So Cousins does have good talent around him. It's about delivering in the final moment. I saw both teams played good, and you know, obviously the Chiefs they're not playing lights out, but they're winning the games by their defense. They're not screwing themselves with penalties. So I think that's a great victory for the Chiefs, and I think the Falcons will definitely get back on track next week. Let's go to the Jaguars versus Bills. Oh man, the Bills are keep on scoring. Allen threw for 4 touchdown passes, and the Bills scored touchdowns on each of their 5 first half drives in a 47-10 win. When Allen is hot, it feels like nobody can really stop him. I like the fact that they're running the football. They're throwing the, I believe, 10 receivers caught balls from Allen. Um, you know, he went 22 of 28 for 247 yards in the first 30 minutes alone. And then Allen only attempted 2 passes after that time because they were blowing him out. He finished with 23 of 30 for 263 yards. He just had an unbelievable day, just throwing the ball. Um, I thought it was a must win for the Jaguars. I thought it could have been a trap game for the Bills. But you're talking about a team that just came out hot and fast. And, you know, Jaguars have gave Josh Allen problems and they just couldn't stop him, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they look bad right now. You have the defense not looking good. You have Trevor Lawrence overthrowing people. So Trevor Lawrence this season, he's 30th in completion percentage with 52.8. Touchdown percentage is 26, 2.2. TD interception is 2-1, tied for 15th. Passing yards per game, 186.7, is 26th in the league. He's just not playing like we expect him to play. We thought, I even thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be this big time talent taking over the league, but he has not done that at all this season. And it's amazing. His last 8 starts, he's 0-8. And he looks like he doesn't belong in the NFL. Um, you know, it's just not a good look. And honestly, it looks now that Doug Peterson is fighting for his job, which I think he's a good coach, but it's amazing how bad Trevor Lawrence has looked. And when Mac Jones got in the game, he fumbled. So you don't really have, all you have is Trevor Lawrence, and you can't bench the guy. Um, but I thought Allen looked terrific. Trevor Lawrence, he looked ugly. What really moved me was, and I got goosebumps after seeing this. Safety Damar Hamlin, he got his first interception yesterday. What an unbelievable story by him. We didn't know that he could have the possibility to return and playing football again. And this guy is just improving. And to me, it was unbelievable. I'm like, oh my God, Damar Hamlin. First interception of his life. Monday Night Football. And, that's an amazing story. What a return by that young man. And again, you know, this is why we love the NFL. We love these type of stories. And it's just cool to see. And I think Damar Hamlin, hopefully he can have a special season for the Bills. But overall, I think Jaguars, they need a lot of help. I think the Bills look like a top 5 team. And one other game, Bengals versus Commanders. I can't believe not Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow. He, like I said before, it wasn't his fault because he's been scoring touchdowns. But man, these slow starts are just killing the Bengals. And I don't think it's all on him. He got some injuries, got people trash talking. But it's not a good look. You're 0-3 against a good, you have a somewhat good division. I can't believe Steelers are in first place, but that was a terrible loss. You have the Packers winning without Jordan Love, Will Levis, not Will Levis. Um, Hold on, let me look it up. Malik Willis. Sorry, but my bad, fellas. Yeah, Malik Willis. He's playing pretty good. Um, the NFL's crazy. That's why we love it. Um, Obviously, you had Saquon Barkley having a fantastic game versus the Saints. Uh, Hurts is fumbling and turning the ball over, which that is concerning. But overall, I think the Eagles will be fine. They just got to get healthy. You got Devontae Smith a little bit banged up, and you have AJ Brown injured. I believe he has a hamstring. Um, but overall, I thought it was a great week 3. I'm so excited for week 4. Um, so see you next time.